I'm going to go over all the uniques for Sorcerer, as well as the best choices that you should be target farming. We're going to go over their locations, exactly how to actually summon them properly, and what you can kind of expect from each for their kind of drop rates overall, at least from kind of my anecdotal evidence from doing these bosses and farming them, as well as multiple other alternatives that you could be choosing in case you don't want to use exactly what I'm using. What's up, world? We're back in the video checking out all things Diablo 4. So for the actual build itself, I've been using a ton of different tools to put everything together and have it all organized. There's actually an app that allows me to build, plan, and set out my entire build strategy. And if you wanted to use this same free application, then check out today's video sponsor. Mobalytics is an insanely intuitive and innovative app that lets you deep dive into an incredible amount of useful tools for all your build creation needs. And this free application, and yes, you heard me right, it is completely free. This app has helped me so much with my build creations and comparing and contrasting different statistics. I was able to find incredibly interesting and different unique builds compared to mine, and even got to try out Crip's ultimate fire Sorc. I love being able to glance over at my stat priorities and build priorities just right within the game. And the new highly anticipated build planner is available now to use directly in-app. And this allows me to completely redefine my build and plan out new strategies without having to use any of my precious gold. Again, you can download for free using my link down below. Thank you again to Mobalytics for sponsoring this video. Okay, so first up we do have our first choice here, our first kind of option here. Essentially the easiest boss to really farm is the one that you can farm from Whispers, which is Varshan. So we'll head over here to the actual Whispers location. We'll travel there. Okay, so first up we do have two uniques that are really easy to farm. They're actually very beneficial and both can be in use, and I swap between both on occasion, switching from a different pair of boots that I use to these, so they can be quite useful. Okay, so the first boss is obviously Varshan. Super easy boss to get the mats for. Essentially, it's very easy because you're not waiting on timers, you're not waiting on hell tides. You just get this from simply doing Whispers. I think the best place to farm Whispers is usually these Blood Harvest zones, as well as the PvP zones. PvP zones usually have a lot of things going on. I guess they don't have a ton right now, but they usually have a boss that's like easy to down here. He's usually 5 points that you can get there very, very easy. These right now are not that good. However, eventually I do think this will proc up and get more. There's one there that kind of one addition. So yeah, if you go there, you do the Whispers, very easy to get. Once you get the Whispers, you will get these mats here. These mats will allow you to summon Varshan. He's located in this little tunnel here, the Malignant Tunnel. And jumping into the actual tunnel, you'll see it's just kind of like a normal dungeon here. It's very, very quick. You've probably been in here before. However, it's super quick to get to. The boss section here, you'll see it's a little pedestal. If you haven't been in here yet, little pedestal. We can summon this one. I do have the mats for it. So that's the Gurgling Head, the Blackened Femur, the Trembling Hand, and the Malignant Heart. And again, you can go ahead and summon him, and when he spawns up, he has an option to drop a few other items. However, the options for Sorcerer are these three right here. We have Isu's Heirloom. Really, really good boots. I swap to these all the time if I don't need the damage reduction. These are really, really good. They do crit damage. Mana cost reduction is absolutely huge, and movement speed. That 10% mana cost reduction is quite significant, so that's really, really good for you. However, I do think Flicker Step is better for stuff like that, but we'll go over that one later. Now, we do have the Raimlet chest piece. This is the biggest one. This is like the hugest one that everybody wants. Everybody's trying to get after. This is a massive one here. In fact, I might even switch to this one. I didn't realize how good the stats were comparative to mine. Some of the stuff here is really, really good, and as you can see, I farmed 2 of them so far. I think I may have gotten a third, but it was a sacred. I was helping someone on World Tier 3. Regardless, that is the other option. We do have one last thing here, which is Staff of Endless Rage. Not a big fan of this one. However, if you are playing a Fireball build, maybe this is pretty good. I do hear that Fireball can one-shot certain things. This might be a good one for you. These are the 3 Sorceress ones that you're probably going to be getting. 2 of these are really, really good. They're really good for you. So I definitely think that Varshan's an easy to farm boss, and you definitely should come here to farm him. Again, that's at Tree of Whispers. We'll go over the location very, very quickly. Tree of Whispers, very easy to find, and we just come into here, and it is in the Malignant Burrow right next to it. Now, next up, we do have Grigoire, who drops several items, actually. We have a few different choices here. Now, the main stuff for Sorcerer is this Staff of Lame Ism, and this one is, again, probably not going to be in use for most Sorcs. However, this might be cool to kind of try and practice with. Essentially, you're probably going to want other things for legendaries in use there, but you're more than welcome to try this one. We also have Ice Heart Bras, which again, not very good. Might not be pronouncing that correctly, but we do have that item there. Then we do have Gloves of the Illuminator. Again, another one for Fireball. If you do have a decent Fireball build, this actually might be fairly well for you. We also have a additional drop for everybody. Everybody can get this one, which is the Penitent Greaves. It leaves behind a trail of chill or frost chilled. Some people do use this on the actual Blizzard builds. However, more than likely, I'd probably still use either Flicker Step, probably not Flicker Step since you're not going to be using an alt, but more than likely either the Isu's Heirloom or just kind of having different boots in general for the mana cost reduction. But yet, it also does drop the Penitent Greaves. And let's just jump over to the location, which is Hall of Penitent, which you do know from the actual greaves that I just showed. And the location is right here. That's right below Arcade Bar and jumping into there. We'll jump right into the actual dungeon itself so you can see where we are headed and kind of how it showcases. Now, this dungeon I do think is a little bit longer than the other ones. It's not like crazy long comparative to the actual Ice King guy, but it is decently... No, I guess it isn't too long. So I am misremembering that, but it is quite quick to get here. So we'll go up in here, we'll head to the pedestal on the altar, and you will need 5 living steel. So how do you get 5 living steel? Well, it does tell you, but you will need to actually go to Helltides. And in the Helltides, when they're up itself, when you head to the Helltide, it will actually... So we don't have any Helltides up right now. However, when there is a Helltide up, you then will head into those, and you will collect 300 of your actual chests, or 300 of the actual cinders rather, and then you'll head to the chest. It'll be located as a purple box on the Helltide website, and you can I'll put that website down below so you can head to the Helltide website, which will show you the purple boxes, and when it's active, we'll have the green online icon, and those will change every half hour, just like the mystery boxes and just like the rest of them. They change every half hour, so you will have to go to those, and you can get... Sometimes you can get 2 every half hour. Sometimes you can even get 3, I do believe, is possible. So as long as you can farm up 900 cinders, you will have 9 living steel, because you do get 3 for each box. So then you can come here and summon, and again, he will drop these 4 items here that you can get. 3 for the sorcerer and 1 for the actual... For everybody, basically everybody can get this item. Now, next up, we actually do have the Ice King. This one's a little bit harder to actually get the mats for. However, I'm going to go over these items. Now, unfortunately, I think I might have thrown out one of my items, one of my uniques. I wouldn't have used it anyway. And I'm also missing one of the Sorcerer uniques. 3 Sorcerer uniques, or 4 Sorcerer uniques you can get from, rather. Staff of the Endless Rage, the Ice Heart Bras again, Remnant Chest again, and there is another one, which is the Cameo one. I have never gotten that drop, unfortunately, so I don't have that here. But you can get that one as well, or the Overflowing Cameo, I believe. It is an amulet, I think, and it's for crackling energy. We can also get Razor Plate, which is the Thorns build. This is for all classes. We can also get the Penitent Greaves, and the one that I think I threw away was Temerity. I'm pretty sure I got the pants, and I might have thrown them out for Ice Heart. I have 2 pairs of that, so I don't know what happened to that. I probably wouldn't have used it anyways, but that is there with that. Now let's jump over to actually getting and crafting this item, because you actually will need to craft this one. And so what is it? It is a actual sigil, and we're going to craft it here. It is the Glacier Fissure right here. It's a T31, and you will need 9 Distilled Fear. And you will get this from tier 31 plus nightmares that are in, I do believe, World Tier 4. And it, again, is a random drop. Now, the dungeon location is here. I won't be able to showcase... I don't believe I won't be able to showcase the actual pillar in there, and it's kind of... This is the long one that I was mistaken for the other one, where it actually is kind of like a dungeon a little bit. It's not terribly long to get to the end, but it is quite longer than the other ones. So we'll head over there very, very briefly. And again, this is the location on the map. It's right below Kiovashad, and overall, again, I don't think I'm going to be able to showcase the actual dungeon itself, or what the boss is, or the pedestal where you can summon him. However, he will take those 9 Distilled Fear. All you got to do is craft it, and just like a normal nightmare dungeon, you right-click it and you accept it, and then that nightmare dungeon will be activated, and then you can head in with your party or yourself or whoever, and you can then clear out the dungeon and go through it all just like this. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to showcase because the door is sealed, but essentially this door will be open, and you can go to the next section here, and then the boss will be in there. And in fact, I don't even know if there's going to be a door there. That might be a completely different location or zoning. However, you will have to go through a little bit of the dungeon, and then you get to the end. And actually, what is different with this specific dungeon itself is there isn't a pedestal. I did get that wrong. There is no altar pedestal thing. You don't turn in anything. I completely forgot about that. You actually just enter in, and the boss will just spawn. So to be wary about that. So if you enter in the room, the boss will spawn. So you might want to wait for your teammates to get there, just kind of by the doorway. Otherwise, the boss will actually just spawn on you. And this one is actually quite rough compared to the other ones. In fact, I think it's harder than Duriel. Even though he's a lower level boss, he is quite difficult. Now, what does the Beast Ice Lord actually drop? He drops a few things for Sorcerer, as well as even the all-class ones can be used with Sorcerer as well. There are 2 that I don't have here, unfortunately. But the first up, we do have Staff of Lam Elissi, or Essen again, for the actual Sorcerer drop. We do have the Isu's Heirloom that will drop by him. We have Gloves of Illuminator. We also have the Oculus Wand, so if you're wanting to farm that, this is the only boss that I believe that can drop it. Not even sure Duriel can drop it. I've never seen it. Then we also have the Frostburn again, and then we have the Tassets of the Dawning Sky, which is a kind of max res and resistance pants if you need those for nightmare dungeons. We also have Mother's Embrace, and we do have the Fists of Fate. Again, those 2, neither of them I've gotten, kind of unlucky there with those, so we don't have those right now. And unfortunately, those are the other two for all classes that you can get. However, those are the ones for Sorcerer. And just to add back, I actually did find my Temerity pants, so here they are. If you want to see the stats on those, I guess I just maybe scrolled over them when I was looking. I'm like, man, did I throw these out? These are actually pretty rare. But these are the Temerity pants. Actually usable with Sorc if you want to, because we have the barrier stuff and barrier damage. It's actually pretty good if you want to use those there. Now next up we do have Lord Zur, and he has a multitude of items. I am missing one here. Again, that's the cameo one that you give the crackling energy. I think it's an amulet that can drop from there. We do have Staff of the Endless Rage. We have Ice Heart Bras. We then are on, again, Raiment can drop from Lord Zur as well. And we also do have Temerity. Again, as I showcased, I do have that and found it. So we do have Temerity dropping from him. We have Penitent Greaves and Razor Plate. These last three here are non-sorcerer drops. They are all class drops. So if you're a different class watching this video, you can get all three of these. Other than that, you can get three. And there is a fourth one, that cameo, that I don't have, unfortunately. Now for the actual location, this one's kind of unique because it's inside of a dungeon that's inside of a dungeon, or at least it's inside the Darkened Way. Once you get inside the Darkened Way, then it is up here in the Ancient Seat. Now you will need something called Exquisite Blood. In order to get Exquisite Blood, you will have to be farming the world bosses as well as Legion bosses, which have a chance to drop it. So we head down here into the actual Darkened Way, and then you'll see the, oh, we can't teleport that far. You'll see the actual entrance down here. And you see people are here entering the actual boss. You go into the Ancient Seat here. I do believe this one is kind of right at the entrance. It's not far at all. And then once we get inside here, as you can see, we're going around this realm. Actually, it is quite far, now that I'm remembering, a little bit decent. These aren't that bad. None of them are terrible in distance-wise. Realistically, they're all kind of similar. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's around about a corner. Nothing too crazy there. So we get inside, and this one does have an altar, pedestal, whatever you want to call it, and we do have to summon Exquisite Blood. Now, the actual boss doesn't spawn, and not right there. The actual boss will spawn up here, if you haven't noticed. So he'll spawn up here, he'll come out of the little thing, and you'll fight him here. And again, he'll drop those items that you can get that I showcased down here. Now, next up we have Duriel. Last but not least, he has a load of items. And for the actual Sorcerer class, he only has two. I do believe it's only two for most of them. But we have Blue Rose and Flame Scar. Again, both these items probably not too sought after. Maybe Flame Scar or maybe Blue Rose might be decent with some Blizzard builds there you could work with. However, those are the only two items for Sorcerer. The rest are for all classes. And that is the Flicker Step. We also have the Godslayer Crown. Both of these I do use. These are both on my actual person, so I'm going to put those back on as soon as we're done here. And then also Tybalt's Will. Again, I also use this, so I'll put that on as well. We have Soulbrand, which is a decent one with barriers. You could maybe make some of that work if you didn't want to take a Remnant chest piece, wanted an alternative. We also have Banished Lord's Crown. And then I also have two Uber Uniques. I got really lucky with these two. I didn't get Harley Quinn Crest Crown, which is what I was after. However, I did get this really, really rare ring, which is the Ring of the Starless Skies. This could be really cool with some core skill abilities. Maybe, again, some stuff with ice builds and actually using ice shards. This might be really, really good for that. However, Ball Lightning doesn't use that, so I haven't been able to test this one. Maybe I will do some further testing later on, but this one does seem pretty cool. It's got some really cool stats on it. However, a lot of this stuff was kind of nerfed, like critical strike damage, and so I'm not sure why that's on there. However, I even have critical strike damage. Probably shouldn't have that on my ring either, but that is pretty much the one Uber Unique for the ring, and the other one is Endariel's Visage. I did try to use this one. The Poison Tick was kind of cool, but it didn't do anything too crazy. It's got some lifesteal on there that you could probably make work, and the poison resistance at 60%, you really don't need 60% resistance because you're going to be capped at 70, so I do believe this was probably in place before the actual resistances were fixed. But it is decent overall and kind of cool to work with. The 10% attack speed is really cool on that. Now jumping down into the actual boss location here, it is a pretty simple one. We'll go into the actual location. Right here on the map, it's right next to Geocall, and it's kind of south there. You'll see a ton of people outside when you get here. There's always people farming it, so we'll go down here. Again, super short dungeon, nothing compared to the ice one. We'll go over here into this, and the boss spawn is here. Another altar, nothing crazy. We don't need anything to do any of that stuff. However, to farm these mats, it's a little complex. So you will need 2 of each of these things, 2 of Shards of Agony and 2 of the actual Mucus Eggs. Now, the way to get these are from bosses. So the first Mucus Eggs is from Varshan. You will need to farm Varshan. However, only the person that summons can get these items. So if you are the person that summons Varshan, you can get a Mucus Egg. And if you are the person that summons Grigoire, then you will get a Shade of Agony, or Shard of Agony. Now, you only get one for each summon, so you will need to do Varshan twice, or summon him twice, and you will need to summon Grigoire twice in order to get this one. And so, again, this is going to take those living steels that you can get from Helltides, and then the Mucus Slick Egg is the one that you get from Whispers, which you get from doing kind of blood harvesting in the PvP area and stuff like that. So this one is a little bit harder to summon, and he does have a lot of items because of that. Harlequin Crest. There's some other few things in there that he has, including obviously Godfather and some other cool stuff. You probably know all the uniques there, but basically just showing the Sorcerer ones and the ones that I have and the ones that I'm actually wearing. Now I'm going to go over the actual ones that I wear and I like to switch around with and swap out for them. So for Sorcerer, the uniques that I actually use and like are the Godslayer Crown. Really, really good one here. I would swap out for the Harlequin Crest if I did have that one. And then we go down to Remnant. Again, pretty much a given. Everybody likes the Remnant chest piece. Very, very good for teleport. It's definitely wild in Nightmare Dungeons and really helps out. Tybalt's Will is another one that a lot of people in a lot of classes are using right now. It has damage reduction. It's got primary resource gen, unstoppable, which applies with our Vampiric Curse and things doing that stuff there. The Vampiric Curse obviously is the one here with the Metamorphosis that applies unstoppable. That's going to also inflict Vampiric Curse. Fuse things there with that. It's a lot of synergy going on there, so these are really good. Potion capacity. These are just awesome. These are really, really good pants. You're probably going to want these no matter what. Next up, we have Flicker Step. This one is a controversial one. I mostly take this one for the damage reduction and movement speed. However, you're more than welcome to take Isu's Heirloom. I see a lot of people taking Isu's Heirloom for the mana cost reduction, the critical strike damage, although critical strike damage did get nerfed. However, the damage reduction here, I think, does help quite significantly. If you feel like you can handle the damage mitigation, then go ahead and swap out for Isu's Heirloom. The rest of the stuff here, I'm not a big fan of. Some people are taking the X-Fall stuff here. X-Fall could be a really, really good one. Your damage over time effects. However, I don't believe, I need to do further testing with this. Maybe people can let me down below in the comments. I don't believe the ball lightning is counted as dot damage. However, if you are finding out that it does, and maybe it does, I'm not reading anything here that says it does. It technically is, right? It technically is dot damage. However, there might be some stuff there with that. You never know. It could be quite cool. Could be quite significant. I probably should do some more testing there. Please let me know down below if you have done testing with this item and it actually does work with ball lightning. Again, sorry I didn't test all that stuff. I have so many uniques I've had to go over with all this stuff and kind of testing with different things. However, that should about cover it for everything and the uniques that I take, as well as how to get them, where to get the boss spawns, everything with kind of summoning and all that stuff there. If you do like the video, I'd like a like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.